Last episode I left you guys with the Eagles, and I apologize for that. At least for some of you. I know some of you guys aren't fans of the Eagles, and not everybody can be perfect. It's okay. Now, I have a feeling there's going to be a don't kiss me joke here.
Holy hell, Duke. Can't believe you're still alive.
I'm the Dukester. Of course I'm alive.
You blew the damnedest shit, buddy. The portal is closing and it looks like the battle's over. We think the Cycloid Emperor has fled, but no one's seen him. Can't say the president's too happy about it. God damn you, Duke! The CIA should have dealt with you years ago. I was gonna have the whole world! The whole world! You idiot! Small brain fool! Now I have to set things right. Me! React Operation Omega 96. Authorization code Zeta Alpha Tau 81. You hear that? That is the sound of your imminent death. That is the sound of me decimating my troubles. Duke Nukem. You like nukes? You cop. The satellite is aligning as we speak. Too bad for you that you'll still be here when it arrives. I'll be sipping margaritas while you're clawing at your own skin, hoping for a quick...
Alright, buddy. Did I fight you already? Welcome to Circle's Grave City, population team. Here I sit with this guy centered in the camera. I go grab my shotgun while these guys shoot. Grab this rocket launcher. Oh! Alright. Let me slam him with some more rockets. Since this is apparently 1993 and everything has to die to rocket launchers. Oh, I had some, okay. See, I thought I was out of bullets. Smash the A button. Alright. RPG. All mine. Okay. Give me circle strength. See, you think the Cycloid Emperor would have noticed by now that all these guys bringing rocket launchers down are doing nothing more than giving me ammo to shoot him with. No, he's all like, whatever. Piggies, come help me. now we're sending whatever these guys are. Oh, this is the enforcers. Cool. Ouchers. It'll do. It's not an RPG, but it's gonna have a similar effect. Are you serious? Can I? It's actually gonna work at all? Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me right now. You got like this last thread of health there. And I've got handgun bullets. Alright, there we go. Piggy. Piggy's got RPG bullets. Oh no, stop going on me. Oh, boom. Okay, take it down. Another quick time event. Pull out the other tube. Grab this flying. Oh, almost got that flying midair. Did I mess that up somehow? Okay, no, he doesn't have much health back. There we go. I did mess that up though, didn't I? Oh man, this is what you get for trying to catch a fly while you're trying to do a quick time event at the same time. Ouch, put it. Oh, jeez Louise. It's not even my final form, he says. Give me a devastating. What that means is absolutely fill the room with bullets. That's what that means. So much going on here. Ugh. Alright. There's a little bit of space for me. A little bit of breathing room. Big rocks in the face, big rocks in the face. Almost there. There we go. What do you got? What do you got for a quick time event? One more tube. Last tube! I do believe it's time. What? Okay, so I'm not kicking the field goal.
The president's dead, but his order is still in effect. The nuke's on its way.
Alrighty.
Hold on, dude. We're
General.
getting out of here.
Such rattle, much roll. You ever get the feeling it's trying to make fun of Modern Warfare 4 or Call of Duty 4 on that one. I do believe I have just completed Duke Nukem Forever. As we enter this last cutscene. So.
What kind of shit ending is that? I ain't dead. I'm coming back for more.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's Duke Nukem Forever. Now, one of the things about this game is it's, Randy Pitchford said it best. She was saying that this game is like a cheeseburger as opposed to a porterhouse steak. And that is absolutely correct. This game is not a great game. It's not necessarily going to change your life. It's not one of those life-changing events like a Borderlands or a Call of Duty. Not even a Call of Duty, but like a. This is not an award-winning game. This BioShock isn't going to change. It's going to change your life. This is just going to be a game that you kind of want to step aside and just say, I'm going to play something that's mindless and dumb that might have some ridiculousness to it. Now, some of the ridiculousness of it, and over the top. Some of the jokes were, you saw me rolling my eyes in some of these. I was just kind of like, really? This is going to be the joke. But overall, I was able to enjoy myself playing the game once I got past all of that. Mostly in the fact that I was trying to dismiss Duke Nukem as the character that I don't want him to be, and kind of look at him as, this is the guy I'm stuck with, right? He's like the annoying buddy in the buddy cop drama, and you're the one controlling this unfortunate buddy, but you are actually the brains behind the operation. You just got a voice in the back of your head that's not really feeding you any kind of useful information. So in a nutshell, this is a game that I'm able to take very well. This is my second time playing through it, and it's been a ride. And I accept this game for everything that it is. A mindless romp that is just absolutely fun. It could have done with a few less of certain things. Some jokes they could have just kind of, dialed it back on. Some of the boobage. I mean, there's a whole level that I had to cut out of the videos series that you guys can't watch because it takes place in a dream sequence inside of a strip club that involves a lot of breasts. And unfortunately, YouTube wouldn't allow me to have such an episode on. In fact, as I'm playing through, and I haven't edited the episode yet, but the episode where I'm in the impregnator, where the girls are getting, alienized, it's just... Now, one of the funny jokes I made about this game is the credits on this has everybody who's ever worked on this game. So if you guys have been watching the credits while I've been yapping, a lot of people have had their hands in this. And of course, they throw a special thanks to Tim Sweeney and Mark Rain at Epic Games because they made the Unreal Engine. This is... A lot of people have touched this game in some way, shape, or form. And it seemed like they really wanted to get this game out. Borderlands pulled out all the stops and called all their friends to get this. And this game did eventually get out. And it is what it is. And I enjoy it. I did have some fun with it. And I was able to smile while I was playing with it. The controls for the game are not made for the keyboard and mouse, as I discovered early on. It is a game you want to play with a controller. Not the ideal use, yes, of a first-person shooter controller on a PC. I understand. But myself, understanding full well that is better played on a controller. I had the option to play it with a controller. If you have the option, play it with a controller. Because the time between mouse movements and the face movement in the game, or the looks, are just not going to be smooth, if you will. And you know what? I'm going to be probably... I've actually wanted to talk through this point. Because I believe we talked... The credits started at about 12 minutes into this video. And there's a lot going on in the credits of this game. A lot of people, like I said, touched on it. Right now we're in the 3D Realms studio of people who worked on the game. And it's a lot of time went into this... not a lot of time went into this game. A lot of time was spent on this game. And a lot of things happened in this game from stage 1 to stage end. A lot of it's speculation on my point. Mostly because I don't have all of the information in hand. And I didn't do a lot of research beforehand. Unlike where I'm going to be going from Daikatana, where I have read The Masters of Doom, which is a book that covers... Anyway, I'm going to get into that on that. Duke Nukem, on the other hand. I do think I'm going to, at some point, touch on the video where I'm going to go back and play the original Duke Duke Nukem 3D, not the first two Duke Nukems. The first two Duke Nukems are just Apogee side-scrolling games that were as part of the Apogee movement, which came again with id Software, who I will talk about more with Daikatana. I do believe that I might have something down the line with Rage. Rage is a 50-50 because it's a lot of people complain about it, but a lot of people really liked it too, and I loved it. I know a lot of my friends loved it, so it's a matter of finding out how polarizing that game is between, and it might fall under one of the series that I do where the fans hated the game more than the critics hated the game. But that said, Gearbox Software, of course, the guys that happened to bring this game out, and I do really appreciate all their hard work that went. A game comes out, and you got to appreciate that they got the game out. They ended the joke. Duke Nukem Forever was no longer a joke, even though it was kind of a joke to a lot of people. It didn't turn out to be the best game of the year, but it did turn out to be a game that came out and was serviceable at best. You guys were able to share the experience with me. It's not a particularly long game. There was at least one expansion pack or DLC that they added to the game that I don't have, of course, and they're listing everybody who worked on it between 1997 and a certain amount of time, and all the kids that were born during the creation of this game. In fact, when this came out, I think one of those Duke's babies was actually 12 years old when the game came out finally. That's one of those things that you'll see in credits is the babies that were born throughout the game. Big shout out again to the people who made this game. One of the things about a game, even if it turns out to be not that great, is that a lot of people put a lot of hard work into it, and it wouldn't come out unless those people were at least even a little bit happy with the work that they put into it. Sometimes it doesn't come out the greatest, and no matter how much work that they did put into something like this, a lot of people won't appreciate it, and that's kind of the problem is, you know, not all hard work is always greatly taken in. And I do appreciate everybody who worked on this game. As you know, I did go to school to learn video game development, though I don't work in it. It's been a tricky industry to get into with a family, and a lot of people kind of when I say I have kids. Anyway, neither here nor there. I'm also not the most talented programmer, it would appear, as a lot of practical exams are just a little. They just end up being too much for me, and I can't really make what I want out of them. I'm trying to talk through probably the longest credits I've ever seen in my life in a single video game, and this is a game that touched a lot of hands. And 2K, they finally put the brakes on the tomfoolery and said this game is coming out. Gearbox, make it happen. Gearbox turned around and said we're gonna make it happen. Called a couple friends in Triptych and Piranha Games, and we got the game eventually. Personally, I have a few favorite levels of mine. As we get from the first level, after the first area you get there, after the tutorial part, that is probably my favorite portion of the game. As far as least favorite portion, that desert portion, it is very barren, not just in decoration of it being a desert, but it's very barren in the fact that you don't get a lot coming at you, and it's a lot of empty space that just you feel how much emptiness is in that area, and you kind of want more to be going on. And they have the truck to speed you through it, but even the truck just doesn't do well enough for it to just get you through there. In a nutshell. Oh boy. Oh boy there, don't you know? So many people, so many wonderful people. I'm actually surprised they didn't throw coffee fetchers. If you ever at any point grabbed the coffee for somebody at 3D Realms, it looks like you got mentioned in this game. Don't forget, guys, in the comments below if you have any suggestions. Our channel has just started a day before I filmed this episode, so we've got a bit of a backlog of videos to get going on. Now I'm trying to do daily releases. And that's gonna catch up with me real quick, which is why I try to film as much as I can ahead of time. But as we get through this, please, by all means, leave comments in the comments section. Things we could be improving on the game, on the videos, things that we don't necessarily do very well. Let us know. We want to know. Check us out on Facebook as well, and Facebook. Twitter, Till Death Gaming. We've actually got our new name. We had one name prior that didn't quite go out. And I guess I should put links to that in my videos, shouldn't I? Psst, Amber, episode 1, I didn't put any links in it. Look at this. We're at almost 10 minutes of awesome credits. Even better is they got the QA team here. A lot of people. Now here's an interesting thing about a game that I kind of want to let people know about. QA happens, and regardless of whether or not you think QA didn't happen, it did happen. It's just a matter of how development reacts to it and how the production team reacts to the input. Because the idea of what a QA's job is, a QA's job is to find the problem. A QA's job isn't to fix the problem. It's the developer's job to fix the problem. So developer makes the game in the first place, so it makes the alpha, let's say. The alpha goes to the, and this is like deep, and we're not even talking about integration testing or surface testing. When the tester gets the game, they play the game. Then they give the developers the bugs. Now the bugs are, of course, in a category of whether of severity, if it's going to break the game, if it's not breaking the game, whatever. The developer then decides, okay, this is where we're going to fix things. This is what we can afford in the time that we have. Sometimes some things have to slip through, and it's not the fault of QA. It's the fault of who's in charge of making the decision as to who's going to fix what. And of course, I got my achievement for you get an achievement for watching all the credits in this game because there's a lot of credits.
Now that the aliens are dead and you've saved the world once again, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna run for president. Hail to the king, baby.
Duke becomes president. I'll buy that game. I will play that day one. That said, thank you guys for joining me on the journey of Duke Nukem Forever. Join me for the next show where I start playing quite possibly one of the most panned games ever and one of the biggest horror stories for a man and his career in Daikatana. Have a good night, guys, and hope you guys enjoyed the time with me.